Thank you very much for the Finance Minister comes to Parliament to present the 2024 budget. It is going to know election years have always proven a particular challenge to governments because of the need to be financially disciplined. But the unique twist to it is that currently under an IMF program also. So this is definitely going to be a very important presentation for the Finance Minister and for the government. There is one man who is leading government business in all this, and he is my guest tonight. I also asked him about his own party, the New Patriotic Party. They recently elected their flag bearer for the 2020 elections. And then he's also on what should change about the 1992 Constitution. There is a lot to talk about, and I have just a man to do so. He is the Majority Leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Osei Mensah Bonsu. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on PM Express.
Thank you for having me.
So, this is the day before budget is read. Has it been a busy day? Day before budget is read. Has it been a busy day?
Certainly it has, and meeting at the instance of the Speaker that I had to attend. The Finance Minister is here to
read. Has it been a busy day? Day before budget is read. Has it been a busy day?
Certainly it has, and meeting at the instance of the Speaker that I had to attend. The Finance Minister is here to see the leaders of the House. He also has to see the Finance Committee to give them a bird's eye view of what to expect and from the budget, which may have to be dealt with. See the Finance Committee to give them a bird's eye view of what to expect and from the budget, which may have to be dealt with. That collector is inefficient and that the contract must be abrogated. So if that is a way forward, let us be upright on that.
You're in support of that?
I should be. And indeed I am. And I think if it's going to take us one, because really, you cannot overnight improve the efficiency. A few things will have to be put in place. I don't mind if perhaps we even miss the first quarter of 2024.
Just to get it right.
Get it right. If we do and we are not able to collect, let's say, the 7.5 billion, we're able to collect even one half of it. It justifies it.
Let's talk about government's part in this burden sharing arrangement. Surely there must be more radical cut in government expenditure tomorrow.
Let's look at that. I think I agree with you that maybe government should be bold, we should be courageous in some areas to rev up the economy, to provide some space for some expenditure, to lubricate the system. But the issue that you are raising about cutting government expenditure really is a matter that should concern all of us. Government payroll, people in civil service, public service. How much are we spending as a nation on them? Is it justifiable?
As we see, you
go to La Côte d'Ivoire, right? People in public service less than 200,000. Here in Ghana, we are over 700,000. Do we justify it? How do we justify it? But the very genesis of our national development. Remember, whereas Kofi Boigny at Independence was talking about letting private sector lead economic growth, ours was premised more or less on a socialist system, which is why we had a very big public service. Can we go on that way, or we need to rationalize? So it's really a discussion that, a serious conversation that we should have at the national level.
Do you want to see something in tomorrow's budget that addresses this problem?
You can't overnight do that.
But
let's say having the public service, you can't do that overnight, right? And if you have to do that with significant cuts, we must have a think through relocating them.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get early access to Macy's Black Friday specials and save big on gifts for everyone on your list right now while supplies last. Like winter-ready women's sweaters, $12.99 to $19.99. Fine jewelry, 60 to 75% off. And cozy up to comfy throws, just $9.99 to $39.99. Plus, get your online order even faster with store pickup, now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
If we average about 1,000 cities, that should give us about 7.5 billion. If we're efficient in this collection. Of course, it comes with the cooperation and collaboration of the various district assemblies. So much dependent on the proper street system. That for us to identify which, and then if we have done it sufficiently, efficiently, and the state, unfortunately, it seems information reaching us is that GRA also outsourcing the collection to some company. It's not come out clean, and that rather it's plummeted the collection down from, I guess, what the assemblies were doing in excess, just over 100 million or so, to less than 31 million. That cannot be justified. It cannot be justified. So we need to be very efficient in these areas. Let's program ourselves to be effective and efficient. And
should that private player be removed from the equation then?
I should think, and I guess the president has already spoken to it. That clearly is been demonstrated to us all that that collector is inefficient and that the contract must be abrogated. So if that is a way forward, let us be upright on that.
And you're in support of that?
I should be. And indeed I am. And I think if it's going to take us because really, you cannot overnight improve the efficiency. A few things will have to be put in place. I don't mind if perhaps we even miss the first quarter of 2024.
Just to get it right.
Get it right. If we do and we are not able to collect, let's say, the 7.5 billion, we're able to collect even one half of it. It justifies it.
Let's talk about government's part in this burden sharing arrangement. Surely there must be more radical cuts in government expenditure tomorrow.
Let's look at that. I think I agree with you that maybe government should be bold, we should be courageous in some areas to rev up the economy, to provide some space for some expenditure, to lubricate the system. But the issue that you are raising about cutting government expenditure really is a matter that should concern all of us. Government payroll, people in civil service, public service. How much are we spending as a nation on them? Is it justifiable?
As we see,
you go to La Côte d'Ivoire, right? People in public service, less than 200,000. Here in Ghana, we are over 700,000. Do we justify it? How do we justify it? But the very genesis of our national development. Remember, whereas Kofi Boigny at Independence was talking about letting private sector lead economic growth, ours was premised more or less on a socialist system, which is why we had a very big public service. Can we go on that way, or we need to rationalize? So it's really a discussion that, a serious conversation that we should have at the national level.
Do you want to see something in tomorrow's budget that addresses this problem?
You can't overnight do that.
But you want
Let's
to see
say having the public service. You can't do that overnight, right? And if you have to do that with significant cuts, we must have a think through relocating them. What kind of compensation are you going to?
It's bloated.
I think that we have, I wouldn't want to use the word bloated, but is overly large.
Okay.
I think that we have, I wouldn't want to use the word bloated, but is overly large.
Okay.
To bring out the truth. That is what you expect of us. It is this commitment to tell truth to power that sets us apart, because we will hold the feet of leadership to the heat of accountability. My name is Evans Mensah, and this is Joy News. Fearless.
And thank you for staying with us. You're still here on PM Express. My guest is still the Majority Leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. He's Kyei Bonsu, Osei Bonsu. So, your party just elected a flag bearer, and a very historic one at that. First Muslim, first from the north, and as many have said, true?
Well, I think we've killed 3 birds with 1 stone.
Which are these birds?
Well, the one that you alluded to, that the party is anachronistic. People say that, including the former president, who was lamenting the fact that the Omea was wasting his time with. People say that, including the former president, who was lamenting the fact that the Omea was wasting his time with. In the new standing orders, is proposing that if you appoint and the president wants to take him to maybe
when ministers are moved from one ministry to the next, they should come back to Parliament. He has to come to Parliament.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm continuing the same person, right? We disagreed. Engagements that took the matter. Approve of all of them, which is also done in 1987. Since then,
because now you can't do anything with Gowon coming on board.
why even? The Constitution, I mean, at the time we had 140 constitutions. The Constitution provides
the detrimental effect it has
divided 32 million people. But it's unjustifiable. It's unjustifiable.